What's going on, everybody? B-Sky here with
G.O.D.
And on today's show, we're going to go over the Week 1 waiver wire. Surprising Week 1. Some surprises, 49ers losing. A couple little things that were a shock to me, obviously. But the Ravens were not a surprise. They destroyed the Cleveland Browns. But we're going to get into the waiver wire. Important pickups of the week. There's a lot of players out there that could help your fantasy team. So keep it locked and loaded right here at the first 4 downs.
Drop the logo.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to our waiver wire show. This is a vital piece of information for all you fantasy ballers out there. Plain and simple.
Very first waiver.
Yeah, Week 1's very important. So before we get into today's show, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, hit the thumb, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And before we get into the waivers itself, Week 1, it's in the books. And there was a couple surprise games. 49ers losing. That was a pretty big shocker. I'm not quite surprised considering the Cardinals last season gave them a run for their money.
Yeah, they got that hangover though, man.
Yeah.
They missing players on that offense, and the defense is just not there yet. The offseason it's just showing that they've been trying to lobby to have like the preseason, what I'm saying, chopped down a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's no way possible.
Yeah, of course. And it shows without all that, preparation.
Yeah.
That only the veteran squads without new pieces are really performing at the highest level.
Yeah.
You see it. I mean, look at the Colts.
Yeah.
With Phillip Rivers, them losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville, their starting lineup came out to play. Plain and simple from last season.
You look like, special teams been terrible, and you think about the protocol in practice where, you got a limited amount of time. You run your offense first. That's the priority, defense. And if you got time for special teams, you run special teams. So we're going on to the season where you're seeing a lot of penalties and missed kicks and everything like that. Well, guess what? They ain't been there all year. Last time they've been on the field was last year. So, I mean, we just seen Gostkowski just completely miss like 3 field goals.
Yeah.
And extra points.
Like 30-yarders, you know what I mean? And
ridiculous.
Yeah. So, Baltimore Ravens, like we already stated,
Slap.
They look ridiculous.
Yeah.
They look,
unstoppable.
Absolutely. Lamar Jackson, 20 for 25. Perfect passer rating. They actually didn't run on the ground as much as they probably should have, but J.K. Dobbins still in the red zone work. I'm scared for Mark Ingram owners.
I think he ended with 2 touchdowns on the day.
Exactly. I'm scared for Mark Ingram owners, because if he's not getting that goal line work, Mark Ingram is not that valuable of a piece, meaning that he's over 30 years old.
And especially how explosive that kid Dobbins is and what he can do in the passing game as well. So it's like if he ain't looking good right now, then down the road, this might be Dobbins' backfield to own.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mark Ingram, he's a guy, if you got him on your roster, you're looking for a running back.
Yeah.
So we could start with the waiver wire. We're going to start with the quarterback position. There's only one that really stands out to me. There's a couple. No one had super blow-up games, but I like Gardner Minshew. This is a guy definitely we talked about a little bit where he could possibly finish with inside the 15. Third wheel's here.
Yeah.
Our better part. He was all in on the Jacksonville Jaguars train.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The man can throw over a mountain, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Clear quarter mile.
Absolutely. So 170 yards passing.
Yeah.
Not very high, but he did have 3 touchdowns. Very efficient. And they beat the Colts. That's a good football team.
Yeah. Well, they have a terrible quarterback, too.
Yeah.
With a dead arm. You know what? Phillip Rivers looked actually old out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was incredible.
Yeah, exactly. So, for me, Gardner Minshew is definitely a pickup. They got a pretty cakewalk schedule over the next 5 weeks, at least for the secondary. Being able to throw the ball, he should be able to put up some numbers. So, outside of that, Tannehill, Drew Lock, all these guys, Garoppolo, they all did okay, but nobody stood out to me as like a guy I got to run and get now.
Yeah.
So we can move to the running.
Well, there's one quarterback that stands out to me a little bit. I think, without the preseason and, as the season gets a hold, Cam Newton looked like, he's very healthy now.
Yeah.
So, as they get that rhythm, as they get the next couple of weeks under him, with Harry and, those pass catchers back there and Julian Edelman, I think, passing the ball, he'd probably be a little bit more effective down the road as well.
Yeah, Cam definitely, I mean, if he's available in your league, I would pick him up. He looked healthy enough to lead a football team. Yeah. I mean, it was the Miami Dolphins. Who knows?
Healthy Cam's a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, 75 rushing yards, two rushing touchdowns. Yeah. I'll take that from my quarterback. No problem. So, we're going to move to the running back position.
Yeah.
Number 1 waiver. It's a toss-up. There's a couple guys I like, but Malcolm Brown's got to be the number 1. I mean, He was stated as the starter right before the season coming out. I know you don't like him as a runner.
I don't like him at all.
I get it, but you know what? He got the red zone work. He had 70-plus rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He had some receiving work. You saw Darrell Henderson. I want to say he played 5 snaps total.
Yeah, obviously the hamstring is still bothering him. But Malcolm Brown is like, his upside is like, are we looking at Lamar Jackson or are we looking at, good Peyton Barber?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really feel like he's that dynamic of a player. I mean, neither do I think of the same way with Benny Snell as well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, they're up and down runners, but they're not nothing dynamic. They're not going to break for a 100-yard gain or nothing like that. They're just going to consistently just pound the ball, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be nothing dynamic, but there's a lot of points that's going to be there in that offense for them. You know what I'm saying? I think so, especially with the Rams.
Yeah. Just the high-powered offense of the Rams, and you saw with Gurley how many rushing touchdowns. They like to run the ball in the red zone. That's why Malcolm Brown's got to be the number 1. On to the next one. I like Nyheim Hines. Indianapolis Colts, for me, number 2 waiver. And the reason I say
been
this...
in the league for like 5 years.
Absolutely. The reason I say this, 8 receptions. On a team with who? Phillip Rivers. And what does Phillip Rivers do? He throws to the running back position.
So
You saw Marlon Mack. He's out for the season. Completely.
Yeah.
Right? Jonathan Taylor.
Is a monster.
Absolutely. I like him. But in negative game script, where the way they were playing, especially towards the end of that game, Nyheim Hines had 8 receptions.
Yeah.
To me, this backfield could look a lot like a Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler type back. You know what I mean? And both these guys were valuable. Now, obviously, Melvin Gordon has the upside with touchdowns in the red zones, but Nyheim Hines played a huge factor in the offense, even from the snap when Marlon Mack was on the field. Nyheim Hines was the rotational third down back.
And especially given they're running behind the best offensive line in football.
Yeah, of course. So, Nyheim Hines, huge player, and he's got a lot of season-long fantasy value. Yeah. I mean, compared to some of these other players. I really think Hines could be a 1B, a 1A, 1B in that backfield where he could potentially get you 10 to 15 points on a weekly basis. Almost like a Kareem Hunt.
On a great basis, do you think he could be the old school version of what we've seen in Chris Thompson?
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, Chris Thompson was like beasting, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
Chris
in the
Thompson.
pass game.
Absolutely.
That's
so
awesome.
That's why I personally like Nyheim Hines.
Yeah.
Who would you say would be?
I mean, you know what? My eyes just got big, like thinking about Darrell Bevell and everything like that, and DeAndre Swift just missed that last catch at the game-winning catch. You know what I mean? You got AP that had 14 carries with 92 yards, and he also caught passes out of that backfield. I mean,
I want to say probably more passes than he caught all last year.
That's what I'm saying. And probably, in the last couple of years. So, AP is not looking like he's going to retire anytime soon. So, who's to say he's not just going to get fed the rock there? You know what I mean? There's a big trust factor when it comes to running backs and turnovers and, just playmaking ability as well. So, if you're like missing game-winning opportunities where you're wide open, like nobody in front of you, that might just roll with the old man. You know what I'm saying? I like AP a lot on the waiver wire for week 2. He's my number 1 running back coming off this board. Yeah,
AP definitely huge. Kerryon Johnson, 7 carries, 14 yards.
Yeah.
No targets, very uneventful. DeAndre Swift, he's still a rookie. He's going to be easing into the offense. So AP definitely early on in the season, he's going to see a lot of production.
Yeah. Another guy I like, to be honest with you, is like we just said, Benny Snell. Now, Benny Snell was not nothing to really just rave about. You know what I'm saying? But you know that Steelers offense and Mike Tomlin, it's going to be one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's the back is, that's who's going to run the ball.
Yep.
Honestly, if you really had spots on your roster, I would just stash Anthony McFarland because he's far more dynamic talent than Benny Snell. You know what I'm saying? This guy's like, the CJ2K, Alvin Kamara, just he hits the hole and he's gone. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why they drafted him 3rd round in his last draft. And, he's obviously 3rd on the depth chart above Jalen Samuels. You know what I'm saying? So he was a healthy scratch tonight. But, who knew that Connor would get hurt in his first game?
Of
you
course.
Know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. If he did get hurt. Like I said, he looked pretty terrible to start the game.
Yeah, that's
and
what
honestly,
I'm saying. Maybe
he looked like he was already arguing with someone on the sideline from the snap.
He probably got hurt in practice.
Yeah.
Like pregame.
Absolutely. So, Benny Snell, huge addition.
Yeah.
Had over 100 yards rushing against the Giants, but hey, if he's the starting running back, if he's the starting running back of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm taking him absolutely. So, wide receivers. There's a couple other guys we'll mention in, right? Josh Kelly, Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
12 carries, 60 yards, touchdown. He got the red zone work in an offense that is going to run the football. They ran it 50 times on the Bengals. Tyrod Taylor didn't look great throwing the ball, and he didn't really scramble that well, all too well either.
They
ran the ball.
Never really looked great at all ever since he got drafted. So, that's not really news to me. It's just wondering whether or not we see Justin Herbert this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, knowing that he's looking that bad right now, it's going to be a lot of volume to the running back position. So Joshua Kelly is obviously somebody that you probably want to be looking forward to picking up in this waiver this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Jared McKinnon. He did get a touchdown with the 49ers.
But Mostert dogged.
Mostert dominated. But McKinnon and Mostert shared the backfield in the 3-down work and the passing work. And McKinnon, I think, benefited from the negative game script because they were down in that game a lot. It was a very back and forth battle, and they were fighting at the end. So,
and not to mention, I think that Shanahan and McKinnon spoon on the weekends. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest. McKinnon looked. He played a game where he looked okay and he scored a touchdown. I'm happy with that. Tevin Coleman is Tevin Coleman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Who knows?
I think they all three.
Just same house.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much it for the running back position. We can move.
I'm trying to think of somebody else that's even relevant at running backs. I don't. Le'Veon Bell is suffered a hamstring injury, but who are you going to pick up, Frank Gore, for season long?
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust that.
Or Josh Adams, no.
Yeah, come on.
Corey Clement, Boston Scott's injured, but Miles Sanders probably should be ready to go. They were saying he was pretty close anyway last week. They thought they could get it done against the Washington football team.
Just on a recap real
exactly.
quickly.
Yeah.
You
know what? They thought they could get it done. Obviously, they couldn't. And Boston Scott got hurt. So, Corey Clement, you can talk a little about him.
They've liked Corey Clement for a very long time. I feel like Clement is in the same conversation that McKinnon's in, right? He has all the metrics. You know what I'm saying? He's a good player, but he's never consistent. He can't stay healthy. I feel like, they just hold that hope for him as well. And I feel like that's what Miles Sanders is going to be. You're coming into the league with already a hamstring in your second season, which you're supposed to dominate. But I think, period, I thought that we're going to be in a committee, a secret committee, already. You know what I'm saying? So, honestly, Clement could be somebody to own. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing how healthy Miles Sanders is right now.
Yeah, of course. He's a possible add, but you're not picking him on one of your first waiver.
Yeah, at all.
One other guy, Peyton Barber. He's not good, but he had 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? 29 yards. He ran 14 times or 17 times. It doesn't even matter. He had 29 yards. He did get 2 touchdowns, but he's still irrelevant. Not a guy that I would be targeting at all.
Yeah, the period.
Yeah. Let's move to the wide receiver position. Yeah. Right. So number 1 wide receiver. It's got to be Robbie Anderson, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
I think him tying DJ Moore with the target share, 9 targets, leading the team in yards. He had the 75-yard touchdown, huge. Carolina Panthers, the defense is bad. They're going to have to throw the football.
I didn't know what was some more surprising was the Raiders' defense, which I thought that was pretty much better than advertised, or Carolina's offense. You look at they went and got Robbie Anderson, and I said from the get, he already had a lot of experience, and just judging him between Curtis Samuel was a lot of people had him the same kind of player.
Yeah.
I feel like Robbie was a little bit better, but also he had Sam Darnold a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So it's you can't really tell his talent from there. We know what DJ Moore can do. This is a guy that's a must own. I think by bye weeks come, he'll probably be a 90% owned player.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. He's a beast.
Yeah, and he's definitely a guy that could be filling your buys.
Yeah.
At least possibly flexing weekly, depending on the matchups. This week.
And that's what I'm saying. Like you said, on defense, they ain't that really great.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So, they're going to throw the ball a lot. And Robbie Anderson, that's the guy. You got to respect CMC.
Yeah.
Period. So, go get you a lot of shares of Robbie Anderson right now.
And you could possibly be starting this week going against the Tampa Bay defense.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they were pretty solid. And they're stout against the running backs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
So, it's you could see a lot of volume there.
Yeah.
Depending. They're going to have to throw the football. So, and probably a negative game script. Tom Brady, after a loss, it's unreal. He just destroys opponents.
You know what? Mike Evans had a hammy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving no excuses. The Saints are what they are at home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They got a lot of things to figure out. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole new a quarterback going to a new system. You got a lot of weapons. Just because you guys are that great you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, of
players
course.
don't mean that you just get thrown in the week one without no kind of opposition in the offseason, you know what I'm saying, and be successful. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks, but they'll be right there.
Yeah, of course. And Tampa should win the game next week against Carolina, but Robbie Anderson, definitely a big ad. Number 2, and this is where it's a toss-up. There's a lot of receivers that you could throw in here, but I like Paris Campbell. Phillip Rivers, loves throwing the slot. You know that with Keenan Allen his entire career. Yeah. He's made a career out of it. So
Grandpa Phil, I mean, you know, he loves the slots.
That's what I'm saying. So Paris Campbell, 6 receptions, 71 yards. It doesn't jump out at you, but him and T.Y., same amount of targets in an offense where I think Paris Campbell, as long as he can stay healthy, with the speed he's got, could make huge plays, huge impact.
Yeah, I could see that. You know, I just don't know where his downfield throwing ability is at. You know what I'm saying? That's why they were saying that he had that 1-year deal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they thought maybe he had a dead arm, but I mean, who's to know? We'll see. And what kills me, he lost his game pretty much behind the best offensive line in football.
Yeah.
I don't really understand it. Like, you should just stay with the Chargers, bro.
No, I don't think so. I put the entire blame of the Colts loss on Phillip Rivers personally.
That's what I'm talking about.
I really do. It's like...
I have like one note that says Rivers sucks.
He's old.
Yeah.
He really is. He like you said, with
he's
that arm,
obviously a shell of himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that slot, I mean, is a comfort blanket for him, obviously, going forward. Season long, I like Paris Campbell a lot. Another guy I like is Alan Lazard. Like I've been saying, you know what I mean, that talk that Aaron Rodgers talks about his receivers, he talks them up. You know, Alan Lazard, he came in there 4 targets, touchdown, 63 yards, you know what I'm saying? Had a little bit of rush yards too. I think it's only going to get better. You know what I mean? He's big, 6'5", run like 4.5 speed. And you got Devontae Adams is murdering shit on the on the other side. So, you know what I mean? It's like, you
17 targets.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard to stop him. And he is must own to me.
Yeah.
He's on my waiver right now, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that. I had him on there for sure.
Yeah.
Couple receivers from the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? I like Laviska Shenault personally. This is a rookie that came in. There was a lot of talk about him.
Yeah.
And him being a dynamic playmaker all over the field, being able to run out of the backfield, being able, you know, just fill any void that they need at the wide receiver position. What does he do? Comes out, 4 receptions, 30-something yards, and a touchdown. But what I like about him, he had 2 carries out of the backfield for 10 rushing yards. Now, it's not great. It doesn't stand out at you. But this is a receiver that's lining up in the backfield, taking carries in the red zone, where Jacksonville is already lacking running backs, you know. So if he can work in to that, you know, 2 to 4 kind of carry range on top of getting the targets, dude, Laviska Shenault could be good all season. You know, he's another guy that I would be putting on my bench and just waiting to see. Obviously, you're not going to just throw him in there, but
I like Laviska Shenault a lot. I mean, just his talent coming out of college. I would like him more in Dynasty because, I mean, we've never seen Jacksonville as a whole support 2 wide receivers that's like really dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always like this second one that always breaks up. Hopefully the team doesn't like end up falling into that fold. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, yeah, of course, hot takes. I'm taking Laviska Shenault. You know what I'm saying?
And their
schedule's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I think that people don't realize that this kid is really a monster. You know what I'm saying? More of a AJ Brown type of build. And yeah, go get him. You know what I'm saying? There's a receiver right now in Atlanta that had 12 targets. You know what I'm saying? 9 receptions for 114 yards. And it's really scary to me. You know what I'm saying? What I do know is Julio's been like mentoring him like very tough. And he's starting to get those targets. When Austin Hooper went down last year, as we were talking about it earlier, you know, he was getting all that love. So, you know, there was big talk on Hayden Hurst. So that's what I'm scared for. Like, does he take that? Does he take those targets? Is a 3,000 yard receiver combo really happening in Atlanta right now? I don't know, but you know what? I have to take this guy off the waiver. He'll probably be my second and third waiver coming off this week.
Okay, Russell Gage.
Yeah,
absolutely. He did have a lot of targets. Did have a lot of yards. Huge negative game script. The Falcons.
That's true.
Got whooped by the Seattle Seahawks. Plain and simple. Their defense looked a lot like the first half of last season, and that's not good. You know. So yeah, Russell Gage is a guy I would pick up. I would worry about him just weekly, depending on the game script. You know, you saw a lot of negative game script where the Falcons were down, honestly, at the half period, trying to play catch up. So, and in that prevent defense, they were bombing it all day. I mean, Matt Ryan, 54 pass attempts, 450 passing yards. So it's like that's not gonna happen every week.
Yeah, that's true.
But yes, Gage is absolutely a guy that's right there on that cusp of receivers. This week actually is pretty stacked at receiver. There's probably 5 to 8 receivers that I would pick up just to have on my team. And some guys you can get rid of. Some guys you can sit and wait, but
like a guy like Darius Slayton or something like that.
Yeah, Darius Slayton, he's been
yeah,
I know. Hey, he's owned in a lot of leagues, and man, the guy's a stud. We already talked about it. 2 touchdowns, huge success. But a couple other receivers, Keelan Cole. This is Jacksonville. We just don't know what's going to happen there. Scotty Miller, Tampa Bay.
Scotty Miller could be a guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he actually had, I want to say, 6 receptions for 50, 60 yards, something like that. Not great, but you know what? It's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And if he likes a receiver like that, he's going to target him. So, the last person on this list just played tonight, Corey Davis. This is a receiver that you put on your team. You never put him in your lineup, and when you do, he gets you 2 fantasy points. But tonight had over 100 receiving yards, 10 targets in an offense where they are run first. So, how much is Corey Davis going to impact? I don't know, but he should be on fantasy teams.
I got one guy that should be rostered everywhere right now, but he's in y'all leagues at 49% owned. Sammy Watkins, season long.
Yeah.
Go get you some Sammy Watkins, period. I mean, there's no reason why he is not owned. This kid is going to beast. You know what I'm saying? I can't even say kid no more because he's been in the league for a while. But under the speed of McCole Hardman and, Tyreek Hill, he's going to get that underneath. And, he has speed as his own as well. So go get him, man. Yeah. Like, period. He's going to clean up.
Yeah, McCole Hardman. This is a guy that I'm on the fence with if you got him on your roster. 1 target, 1 catch, 5 yards.
Yeah.
It's like, really, you're holding him in hopes that, in my opinion, Tyreek Hill gets hurt or Sammy Watkins gets hurt, because outside of those guys, I mean, he is one big play away from winning you a league.
Unless he's a dynasty stash. That's
what I'm saying. So, McCole Hardman is definitely on the fringe of a cut for me, for some of these more solid receivers.
Yep.
So, we can move a couple tight ends. Noah Fant tonight absolutely performed, man. 80 yards and a touchdown. And Drew Lock, they lose the game, but it's the Tennessee Titans. It is a tough football team.
Yeah, they're playing that dink and dunk though. That's what their offense is based on. You look at John Elway in the past. He's had since he's taken over the head office up there. You know what I'm saying? It's been very inconsistent up there. They've been giving their quarterbacks a lot of opportunities to lose, you know what I mean? So I feel like this is the best way that they could build a young talent like Drew Lock, you know what I'm saying? Go get a Melvin Gordon who's already established a Wisconsin running back, and they run that football, they do the play action, the dink and dunk, and you know what I'm saying? To see a lot of love. Given Cortland Sutton was out tonight, so I think in that system they're gonna fit, and it's gonna be time for him to grow. Now his 3rd-year breakout candidacy. It's probably going to be very high after he's starting to get those check downs and everything established in that offense. So, you know what I'm saying? That's something dope. But I don't know, man. Fant, I like him a lot. Jonnu Smith, I think tonight was a hard game against Denver and Mile High. But Jonnu Smith should be owned everywhere.
Absolutely.
Especially if you know what I'm saying, if you got a Kittle or something like that, not knowing necessarily what's going to happen on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised because Kittle played through the game, but they already came out and pretty much listed him as questionable.
Yeah, he didn't have 1 catch after that.
Yeah, hyperextended his knee. So, a couple other little tight end remarks I want to make. Jimmy Graham caught a touchdown.
The Graham.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
He catches touchdowns. So
that's it. That's 9 points all day long.
Yeah. Detroit. Yeah, absolutely against the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears. They may struggle in the red zone to run the football. David Montgomery, he did okay.
Oh man, Olsen got a touchdown too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Greg Olsen, we could talk about him.
Yeah.
There's one other tight end. I just can't think of his name right now.
O.J. Howard?
Howard caught a touchdown.
He finally seen the touchdown. He finally seen the end zone.
He did.
Yeah.
He did pretty good. That's the tight end position. Obviously, it's a crapshoot. Tyler
Chris Herndon sucked, obviously.
Yeah. T.J. Hawkinson, he did pretty good, but Kenny Galladay, being out, that played a little factor. Same with Noah Fant.
I think season long, I would love Hawkinson if he was in my start, period. You know what I mean? I just like him, except for the fact, you know what I'm saying, he tends to knock himself out at times.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah. So, defenses. There's only one defense that I found that stands out. Tampa Bay this week, playing against Carolina. So, Carolina defense, yes. Carolina offense, I'm sorry, they did score some points on the Oakland Raiders, right? But Christian McCaffrey is going to run pretty well, period. He did struggle against Tampa last season. And Tampa, that front was ridiculous. That defense was flying all over the place.
Different.
Absolutely. So, Antoine Winfield, he looked pretty darn good too. He was making some great plays. So, I like the Tampa defense definitely as a stream this week.
Yep.
So, that has been the Week 1 waiver wires. So, for B. Scott,
DOD.
we out.